Have you ever felt that someone doesn't like you, but they never say it outright? Maybe it's a subtle shift in their tone, an offhand remark disguised as a joke, or how they exclude you from plans without making it obvious. It's not open hostility, but something feels off. And the worst part, you start questioning yourself. Am I imagining this? Am I overthinking? Hidden resentment can be more damaging than open dislike because it operates in the shadows. When someone is openly hostile, at least you know where you stand. But when their negativity is subtle, it slowly chips away at your confidence and peace of mind. You find yourself replaying conversations, analyzing their words, and wondering if you're reading too much into things. And that's exactly where toxic interactions gain their power, when they pull you into endless overthinking. But here's where Stoicism comes in. The Stoics didn't waste time deciphering others' hidden motives. They believed in observing actions, not words. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca understood a simple truth. Other people's opinions are not within your control, so why let them control your emotions? If someone dislikes you, that's their burden, not yours. Your only concern should be your peace, strength, and response. In this video, you'll learn how to recognize the subtle signs that someone dislikes you, but is hiding it. More importantly, you'll discover how to respond like a Stoic, without getting caught up in unnecessary drama, without letting their negativity take up space in your mind. By the end, you'll have a clear understanding of how to navigate these situations with wisdom, calm, and detachment. If you find value in these Stoic insights, then subscribe to the channel. It helps us share more wisdom and practical philosophy with people who need it. Now, let's get started. 1. They're always joking about your flaws. At first it seems harmless, a joke here, a sarcastic remark there. Maybe it's about the way you dress, how you speak, or something you did once that they just won't let go of. They say it with a smile, and if you react, they dismiss it. Relax, I'm just kidding. But are they? One of the most common ways people hide their dislike is by disguising criticism as humor. Instead of openly addressing their feelings, they take little jabs at you in a way that makes it difficult to call out. A co-worker might always joke about how slow you are with projects. A friend might constantly bring up your past mistakes, laughing about them as if they're just being playful. But deep down, you sense that something isn't quite right. Here's the key. A truly light-hearted joke won't leave you feeling small. A friend's teasing should make you laugh along, not second-guess yourself. But when someone's jokes seem to highlight only your weaknesses when they happen too often, or when they're said in front of others to embarrass you, that's no longer humor. That's a passive-aggressive way of expressing disdain. The Stoics understood that words are just noise unless we allow them to affect us. Epictetus famously said, "If someone speaks badly of you, do not defend yourself against their words. Simply live in a way that disproves them." In other words, if someone keeps making jokes at your expense, don't waste energy trying to argue or prove them wrong. Instead, focus on your character. If you know you're not the person they try to paint you as, their words lose all power. The real lesson here is to watch for patterns. A single joke might be harmless, but if it keeps happening, if their humor always seems to target your flaws, it's a sign of something deeper. Pay attention to how people treat you over time, not just in isolated moments. And most importantly, don't let their disguised negativity shake your confidence. A Stoic knows that another person's opinion, whether spoken outright or hidden behind laughter, is never worth losing peace over. 2. Gossip about you behind your back. There's a strange feeling that comes with realizing someone has been talking about you behind your back. Maybe a friend suddenly acts distant, and you later find out they've been hearing things about you. Or perhaps a co-worker has been subtly undermining you, but instead of addressing issues directly, They whisper criticisms when you're not around. Gossip is one of the most cowardly ways that hidden resentment reveals itself. Instead of open confrontation, the person avoids direct conflict while still working to damage your reputation. They might pretend to be friendly when they see you, but the moment you leave, they twist your words, mock your actions, or exaggerate your flaws. The worst part: by the time you hear about it, the damage is often already done. The natural reaction is to feel hurt, angry, and maybe even vengeful. But here's where Stoicism offers a different path. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. In other words, the wisest response to gossip is not to sink to their level, not to fight back with more words, but to rise above it entirely. Ask yourself, what does confronting them accomplish? If they were bold enough to say these things to your face, they wouldn't need to whisper them in secret. Calling them out only gives them more attention and more reason to justify their behavior. Instead, let your actions speak for you. The truth always has a way of surfacing, and people who rely on gossip often reveal their character in the end. The best way to deal with someone who spreads rumors about you is to remain unshaken, keep living with integrity, keep proving through your actions that their words don't define you, and most importantly, don't let it steal your peace. A Stoic knows that reputation is just an illusion. What matters is who you truly are, not what others say when you're not in the room. 3. They subtly exclude you from plans. There's a quiet kind of rejection that stings more than words. A group making plans right in front of you, but never extending an invitation. A friend who once included you in everything now suddenly forgets to mention a get-together. At work, your colleagues go out for drinks after a long day, but somehow you're the only one who wasn't told. Being subtly excluded is one of the clearest signs that someone doesn't want you around, yet it's easy to explain away. Maybe they just assumed I was busy. Maybe it was last minute. Maybe it wasn't intentional. But when a pattern emerges, when you're always the last to know, or worse, you find out only through social media, you're faced with an uncomfortable truth. They didn't forget. They chose not to invite you. The first instinct is to wonder why. Did you do something wrong? Did you say something? Should you ask them about it? But here's where Stoicism offers a different approach. Instead of chasing acceptance, a Stoic focuses on what is within their control. Epictetus reminds us, don't set your heart on things outside your control, and what is more out of your control than the way others decide to treat you? It's tempting to seek answers, to fix whatever caused the exclusion. But the truth is, people's actions reveal their priorities. If someone repeatedly leaves you out, it means they've made a choice, one that has nothing to do with your worth and everything to do with your preferences. And that's okay. Instead of dwelling on the closed doors, turn your attention to the open ones. Who are the people who genuinely enjoy your company? Who invites you in without hesitation? That's where your energy belongs. A Stoic doesn't beg for a seat at the table. They recognize when they're not welcome and move on with quiet dignity. Because true belonging isn't about being included, it's about being valued. 4. They give compliments that sting like insults. Some people don't insult you outright. They disguise their negativity in compliments that leave you feeling uneasy. You just finished a big project at work, and instead of a simple, "good job," they say, "Wow, I didn't expect you to do so well." Or maybe you've been working on your fitness, and they smile and say, "You look good now." It sounds positive on the surface, but there's a hidden sting, a subtle reminder that they never believed in you to begin with. Backhanded compliments are a passive-aggressive way to undermine someone while pretending to be supportive. They create just enough doubt to make you question yourself. Was that an insult? Are they being genuine? Should I say something? This is exactly what the person wants, to plant a seed of insecurity without taking full responsibility for being rude. But here's where Stoicism offers clarity. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, take care that you don't hurt yourself with your response. In other words, the insult itself has no power, it only affects you if you let it. When someone tries to disguise negativity as praise, you have two choices: react emotionally or recognize it for what it is and remain unmoved. A Stoic does not seek validation from others, nor do they allow hidden insults to shake their self-worth. Instead of getting caught in the trap of defending yourself or trying to prove them wrong, take their words for what they are and attempt to control your emotions. And the best response? A calm, indifferent smile. Nothing frustrates a toxic person more than realizing their words do not affect you. In the end, their opinion does not define your abilities, growth, or success. You do. So let them disguise their insults however they wish. It changes nothing about who you truly are. 5. They avoid physical contact. Human beings communicate just as much with their bodies as they do with their words. A smile, a handshake, a pat on the back. These small gestures strengthen bonds and signal comfort. But when someone dislikes you, their body language tells a different story. They might lean away when you speak, fold their arms when you approach, or keep their hands occupied to avoid shaking yours. If they used to greet you with a hug, now there's just an awkward nod. The distance grows, even if nothing has been said outright. This avoidance isn't always dramatic. It can be subtle. A coworker who used to sit next to you now chooses a different spot. A friend who never initiates physical contact anymore, or someone who stiffens when you accidentally brush past them. While words can be faked, body language is harder to control. When people dislike someone, their subconscious often betrays them. But here's the key. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control how others feel, only how we respond. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. If someone pulls away, let them. If they avoid touch, don't chase connection. Trying to force closeness will only create more discomfort. Instead of taking it personally, see it as a natural signal. Their actions are about them, not you. Maybe they're dealing with their issues. Maybe they've made assumptions about you. Maybe their discomfort is rooted in something deeper than you'll ever know. And that's okay. You don't need to solve it. A Stoic remains steady, neither offended nor desperate for approval. The moment you stop seeking warmth from those who withhold it, you free yourself from their unspoken judgments. Let people create distance if they choose. Your peace does not depend on their proximity. 6. They disappear when you need support. In life, everyone faces moments of struggle, whether it's a personal loss, a career setback, or simply a rough period where support matters most. In these times, true friends step forward, offering a listening ear, a helping hand, or even just their presence. But those who secretly dislike you, they disappear. They're suddenly too busy, too tired, or too distracted to be there when you need them. Maybe you've noticed it before. You're going through a difficult time, and the people you thought you could rely on slowly fade into the background. The messages become shorter, the calls unanswered, and plans get postponed indefinitely. Yet, when everything is fine, they have no trouble reaching out for their needs, their entertainment, their benefit. This pattern isn't an accident. The Stoics believed that true character is revealed in action, not words. A friend to all is a friend to none, Aristotle once said, reminding us that not everyone who smiles at us is truly on our side. A person who vanishes when you need support is telling you something without saying it aloud. Their investment in your relationship was never that deep. But here's the crucial part. Don't chase after them. Don't demand explanations or force people to be there for you. Instead, observe. Take note of who shows up when it matters and who quietly exits the scene. These moments are gifts, revealing who belongs in your life and who was only passing through. A Stoic does not beg for loyalty or cling to expectations. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about others." Instead of wondering why someone isn't there for you, accept their absence as an answer in itself. Focus on those who stand by you, not on those who vanish in your hardest moments. Disappointment comes from expecting people to be something they are not. Peace comes from recognizing the truth and adjusting accordingly. Let their actions speak and listen. 7. They're always busy when it comes to you. They say they're busy, but somehow they always have time for others. When you reach out, they take hours, sometimes days, to respond, yet you see them engaging with others effortlessly. Plans get cancelled last minute, messages go unanswered, and the effort always seems one-sided. It's easy to make excuses for them. Maybe they're overwhelmed, maybe they just forgot. But deep down, a pattern starts to form. When someone consistently deprioritizes you while making time for everyone else, the message is clear. They just don't see you as important. The frustration builds and your mind races with questions. Did I do something wrong? Have I been too much? Should I try harder? But this is exactly where Stoicism steps in to remind you. It is not events that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. The truth is that people have the right to spend their time however they choose. You cannot force connection, nor should you waste your energy dissecting someone's lack of effort. The more you overthink their distance, the more power you give them over your emotions. Instead of taking their absence personally, simply acknowledge it for what it is, an indicator of where you stand in their life. This doesn't mean responding with resentment or bitterness. A Stoic does not beg for attention, nor do they lash out at rejection. They observe, accept, and redirect their energy toward what truly matters. If someone is always too busy for you, let them be. Stop sending that extra message. Stop trying to squeeze yourself into a life where you're treated as an afterthought. True connections do not require endless chasing. Pay attention to those who prioritize you naturally, those who make time, not excuses. That is where your energy should be spent. When you let go of the need for validation, you'll find something far more valuable: inner peace. Dislike isn't always loud. It doesn't always come in the form of harsh words or open confrontation. More often it hides in the small things, jokes that cut a little too deep, invitations that never arrive, support that mysteriously disappears when you need it most. These subtle signs may not seem like much on their own, but over time they reveal the truth. Some people simply don't value you as much as you value them. The mistake many people make is trying to change that. They chase approval, overanalyze interactions, and hope that if they try hard enough, they can turn indifference into warmth. But the Stoics remind us that seeking validation from others is a fragile foundation for happiness. Never depend on the admiration of others. There is no strength in it. Strength comes from within, from knowing your worth without needing external confirmation. When you recognize these signs, don't let them disturb your peace. People's feelings toward you are beyond your control, and wasting energy trying to decode or change them only drains you. Instead, observe without attachment. Accept reality for what it is. Some connections will fade, and that's okay. The right people, the ones who respect, value, and genuinely care for you, will never make you question your place in their lives. A Stoic doesn't react emotionally to rejection. They don't beg for acceptance. They simply take note, adjust accordingly, and move forward with grace. Instead of chasing those who subtly push you away, invest in those who embrace you fully. True peace isn't found in being liked by everyone. It's found in knowing that no matter who stays or who leaves, you remain unshaken.